Sister Agnes and Our Lady's Blue Mantle. A story written by Mary Kate Ellis and read by Ina Davis. Sister Agnes enjoyed the peace and serenity of the French countryside. Though she was a foreigner, the German nun enjoyed the life of a missionary, taking her help to schools most in need of a teacher. Her current station being in a small French village, she was glad to enjoy the fresh air and rolling fields that sprawled out before the convent school. These children, she had noted, were of a different sort than the ones she had taught in Germany. They were far rougher, farm boys and farm girls, that got up early to help their parents work in the fields and walked great distances so that they could learn. They disliked the cramped desks of the school, never wanted to wash their grimy hands, and spoke with filthy words at times. Sister Agnes certainly had her hands full. While taking a walk, her thin hands drawn together beneath her habit, she realized that she suddenly had a walking companion. One of the girls from her catechism class had caught up to her, and they were walking side by side. "Good morning, Gabrielle." "Good morning, sister." Gabrielle was a quiet little girl of a very delicate disposition, not at all like her classmates, who tended to be louder and more tough. She had very good grades, was very obedient, and never asked unnecessary questions. Sister Agnes was quite certain that the girl had an incredibly bright future ahead of her. "What are you thinking about, sister?" "Oh." Sister looked down at the girl. "Well, nothing profound. I was wondering why God chose the sky to be blue instead of pink or purple or green." Gabrielle nodded slowly and with a somewhat disturbed expression. "Yes?" Sister thought to herself, "It does sound strange, doesn't it?" "We cannot know whilst on earth," she explained, "why God chose what colors he did, but I have a theory. Would you be interested in hearing it?" "Yes, sister." Gabrielle nodded, her expression more curious now. Sister watched her tuck some of her curly blonde hair behind one of her ears before she stopped walking to glance up at the sky. She pushed her round glasses up on her nose to better see, and then she laced her fingers together beneath a long white scapular that ran down the front of her habit. "Well, we may observe that the Blessed Virgin Mary's mantle is often described as being blue. So, to prove to us that her mantle stays around us at all times, God made us see the sky as blue. The clouds that float by are also possibly symbolic. White clouds are good, perhaps like graces that God floats our way that we must make sense of. But dark clouds are heralds of danger. Just as we sometimes feel spiritually dry and lonely, dark clouds cover up the glow of the sun and the safety of the blue sky, Our Lady's mantle. But then we must remember that the clouds will break and show us the sky again, because Our Lady is always there, always with us, never gone, even if she seems far away or hidden." But Sister laughed, and her shoulders rose and fell in a shrug. "Can you tell that I am not a philosopher, Gabrielle?" The girl was smiling, having stopped to look up at the sky. Indeed, the vast expanse of blue stretched as far as the eye could see, far, far away. Puffy white clouds were lazily floating across it. "Maybe you aren't a philosopher, but I think it is a beautiful thought," Gabrielle quietly said. "You see, sister, I was coming to you today because I was starting to think that the Blessed Virgin didn't care very much for me. I prayed to her and asked for her help on many things, but I didn't think she was even listening to me. But I was wrong to doubt her, because God made her my mother too, right? And mothers always listen. Especially the Blessed Virgin, Sister Agnes replied. She loves all of us more than we could ever imagine. Do not doubt that she is listening to you. She is. But sometimes our prayers just aren't answered the way we want them to be. I am sure that right now she has all of your thoughts and anxieties laid at Jesus' feet, asking him to grant for you, within reason, the help you have implored. And of course, Jesus, being a good son, cannot deny his mother anything she asks from him. Your help will come to you. You will see. Perhaps some storm clouds had drifted over Gabrielle's eyes and shielded her from seeing the love of the Blessed Mother. That was truly a wicked trick of the devil, as the Blessed Virgin loves all of her children immeasurably. She smiled and leaned herself down, gently wrapping her arms around Gabrielle, and she could feel a tight hug in return. When we get back to the school, maybe we can both go and say 12 Hail Marys, Sister suggested, to ask her to make the storm clouds go away. Yes? Yes, the girl quietly nodded. I know that she will help me now, so I must pray to her more and much harder. As Sister Agnes gathered herself back up and turned to usher Gabrielle back along the path to the school, she had to ponder it herself. How good God was to have bestowed upon all of his children a mother so wonderful. How much easier life would be if she only laid all of her worries in the Holy Mother's hands. Do you have any special prayers to the Blessed Virgin, Sister? Gabrielle grabbed Sister's hand as they walked together back along the cobbled pathway. The rosary was an obvious prayer, and a most powerful one. She had taught all of her students to pray it, but she supposed that there was one. It is a little long, and I suppose not so much of a prayer, Sister cautiously said. I am sure it could be if you wanted it to be. But here. Lovely lady dressed in blue, teach me how to pray. God was just your little boy, tell me what to say. Did you lift him up sometimes gently on your knee? Did you sing to him the way Mother does to me? Did you hold his hand at night? Did you ever try telling stories of the world? Oh, and did he cry? Do you really think he cares if I tell him things? Little things that happen. And do the angels' wings make a noise? And can he hear me if I speak low? Does he understand me now? Tell me, for you know. Lovely lady dressed in blue, teach me how to pray. God was just your little boy, and you know the way. That was a wonderful poem, Sister. Gabrielle tugged on her hand. Could you please write it down for me, Sister? Please? I would very much like to learn it. I would be happy to, the nun laughed, swinging their hands back and forth. But after we pray our 12 Hail Marys and thank God for this beautiful day. You've been listening to the Catholic Family Podcast. If you enjoyed this show, please share it with your friends and family. You can support the production on Patreon and PayPal, and you can reach Kevin at kevin89davis@gmail.com. Ad Maiorem Dei Gloriam, all for the greater glory of God.